Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Good American Family trailer. Grey's Anatomy's Ellen Pompeo leads a very different kind of drama. The first trailer for Good American Family previews a very different role for the star Ellen Pompeo. The Hulu original series is led by Grey's Anatomy's Pompeo, along with a supporting cast that includes Mark Duplass, Imogen Faith Reed, Soraya Blue, DeLay Hill, Azriel Dahlman, and Ayas Dahlman. The miniseries focuses on a Midwestern family who adopts a child that they believe to be a girl with dwarfism. When the tabloids catch on to something sinister potentially afoot, the family winds up in a courtroom battle. Now, Hulu has released the trailer for Good American Family. The trailer begins with Pompeo's Christine Barnett discussing her life's purpose. She then gets a phone call from an adoption agency about a little girl with dwarfism who is looking for a home. The family adopts this girl, Natalia, who they have heard was given back by another adopted family. The family bonds with Natalia, but soon things go awry as certain details about Natalia's past look suspicious and start to think that she may not be who she says she is. While it's Pompeo's new role outside Grey's Anatomy, the story may look familiar based on the previews. That's because the 2009 psychological horror movie Orphan covered a similar story about a young Russian girl who was adopted by an American family, only for the twist to be that she was an adult with dwarfish posing as a child. However, the Hulu miniseries is still different since it's based on a true story about the Natalie Grace case. In fact, the horror movie predates Natalie's story since she wasn't adopted until the spring of 2010, months after the film's release. The tonal difference is key since the trailer for Good American Family reveals tensions on multiple levels. Firstly, there are legal challenges as the Barnett family starts to suspect that Natalia might have stolen someone's identity and be impersonating a young girl. There are additional external threats when Child Protective Services are called on the family, and the safety of the children is called into question. These threats will plague the Barnett family as their seemingly good adoption goes south. Grey's Anatomy is by far Pompeo's most well-known show, but Good American Family looks starkly different from that series. While Meredith Grey is hardworking and level-headed, Christine Barnett appears to have an intense personality driven by emotion. This is a great chance for Pompeo to show off her range in a role outside of Grey's Anatomy. All will be revealed as Good American Family premieres on March 19. From the opening frame, Good American Family doesn't just tug on your heartstrings, it seizes them. A sweeping shot of suburban Americana dissolves into the quiet clink of a dinner plate being set down. The camera lingers on Ellen Pompeo's face, resolute, tired, and holding something just beneath the surface. Welcome to Good American Family, the new series that promises to redefine the meaning of family drama and the role of Pompeo herself. Known for her legendary turn as Meredith Grey in Grey's Anatomy, Ellen Pompeo steps into entirely new emotional terrain. She trades in the surgical scrubs for flannel, pearls, and an apron stained with memories. But don't be fooled by the domestic setup. This is no ordinary family, and this is no ordinary story. In the trailer, we meet Pompeo's character, Helen Crawford, a seemingly perfect matriarch in a Midwestern town called Larkspur Hollow. She's baking a pie while the golden retriever wags its tail in the background, and the sprinkler spins in slow motion on a perfectly mowed lawn. But then, we hear the first line of dialogue, a voiceover by Helen. "We did everything right. Church on Sundays. Flag on the porch. Laughed at the dinner table. But what they don't tell you is, perfect is just a costume." From there, the trailer shifts, hard. The tone darkens. Something has shattered this family's carefully curated image. A scandal? A death? A betrayal? We see fragments. A shattered picture frame. A tear-streaked teen daughter, played by The Last of Us's Nico Parker. A distant husband, played by Michael Shannon, staring blankly out the window, a son who hasn't come home. Pompeo's Helen is no longer just a mother. She's a detective in her own home, piecing together the truth, the lies, and the silence that has slowly eaten away at their foundations. The camera cuts between her face, set in the kind of quiet agony Pompeo plays better than anyone, and flashes of confrontation. A tense PTA meeting that erupts into chaos. A knock on the door from the sheriff. A dinner table silence so long you can feel it through the screen. Looks like a poignant meditation on appearances, guilt, and the burden of keeping a family together in the face of moral collapse. Think Big Little Lies meets Mayor of Easttown, with just a touch of the Stepford Wives paranoia. The trailer is drenched in warm tones and yet pulses with cold truths. We are watching the American dream fray at the edges, one painful thread at a time. In an especially gut-wrenching scene previewed in the trailer, Helen confronts her teenage daughter in the kitchen. Helen, what did you tell them? Daughter, voice cracking, the truth. Helen, deadpan, there is no truth. There's just what they'll believe. It's a chilling line, and one that feels like it could be the thesis of the entire show. In an age of curated perfection and social media scrutiny, Good American Family is about the cost of hiding, the danger of pretending, and the reckoning that comes when the facade breaks down. The show also hints at broader themes: race, privilege, generational trauma, and the deep-seated fear of becoming that family. The one whispered about at the grocery store. The one whose mailbox gets knocked over at night. The one that was so nice until they weren't. There's a moment in the trailer where Helen stares out her window as the neighborhood watches her. One neighbor waves. Another pulls her child closer. It's quiet. Too quiet. This is no longer about just keeping up appearances. It's about surviving judgment, suspicion, and maybe even revenge. Critics who have previewed the first 2 episodes at early screenings say Pompeo's performance is a revelation. It's the most vulnerable we've seen her since early Grays, and possibly ever, writes TV Line. Her performance is a masterclass in maternal devastation, tightly controlled yet boiling with internal conflict. The supporting cast is also stacked. Alongside Shannon and Parker, we get Aneka Noni Rose as Helen's oldest friend turned moral rival, playing a school principal who knows exactly what Helen's trying to hide. Lucas Hedges plays the estranged older son, arriving unannounced on the doorstep with a duffel bag and a haunted look. And just when you think the show is a straightforward family mystery, there's a whisper of something darker: political corruption, a cover-up, even a potential crime that goes beyond domestic boundaries. The score, composed by Hildur Gudnadottir, Joker, Chernobyl, adds a slow-building dread that keeps your pulse rising through every moment of the trailer. Sparse piano notes give way to distorted strings as Helen's world begins to unravel. Fans of Grey's Anatomy may be surprised at just how far Pompeo steps from her Meredith Grey roots. There's no hospital, no romantic triangle, no voiceover monologue about life and death. This is earthier, angrier. It's about family in crisis, not from illness, but from implosion. Yet, in a way, it's still classic Pompeo. A woman caught in the eye of the storm, holding it together with nothing but sheer will and just enough grace to keep us rooting for her. In the final seconds of the trailer, we return to the kitchen, Helen alone, staring into the oven as something burns. The smoke alarm begins to wail. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't move. She just stares. Sometimes, her voice says, "You let it burn," just to see what rises from the ashes. Fade to black. Title card: Good American Family. Coming this fall. So whether you followed Ellen Pompeo through 17 seasons of love, loss, and Seattle rain, or you're ready to see her in an entirely new light, this trailer makes one thing very clear: Good American Family is going to hurt, but in the best, most unmissable way.